Welcome back to part two of how to create a Chicago style paper. In this section, we're going to talk about the formation within the main text. We're going to talk about footnotes, and we're going to talk about your bibliography. Very simple. Again, we're doing this at a basic level to where if you already know how to do this, great and wonderful. If not, feel free to rewind and watch this over and over again until you fully understand. Now, we've talked in the last one about how to do the cover page and the page numbers. So that's all done. Now, your paper does not start with the title page. It starts with what we're here to do. What was your purpose of the paper and what are we doing? And this is going to be our first page and we're going to mirror all the way through. Now, as we stated before, we've already got the page numbers put in when we formatted the title page. Now we're going to go into the actual text of your work. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the right click for those using a mouse, the double tap for those of us using the keypad to the paragraph. And we're going to check once more to make sure this is set the way we need it. Now, first off, we're going to go up here. These should be 0, this should be none, these should be 0. Spacing is double spaced in Chicago style, so please make sure double is typed there again, and you also want to make sure this is clicked on. Don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. Now, here's where I'm going to explain that to you. So if you've done all of this, you have zeros and nones everywhere except for double spaced, and you've highlighted that check mark again, go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to go back to the meat of your paper. So here we go. For Chicago style paper, there are no block paragraphs like what you see here. This is one solid wall of text. No. What you want to do is you want to have that spacing, that indent, paragraph. What you simply do is click on the tab button, which for standard keyboard, it's going to be on the left side, usually above your caps lock. Click on it and it's going to automatically go. Boom, 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 as you see here. So now, what happens when you get to the end of a paragraph and you want to start another one? Do you see how Word automatically indents? Because it's learning from what you did up here. Let's just get back out of there. So that's easy. That's set up. Now, hey, what happens if it doesn't do it when I click Tab? Or if it doesn't automatically do it when I set up my paper? Well, here's how to fix that. If it automatically does it, let it go and don't worry about it. But if it doesn't, or you're using something other than Word, right click or double click, depending on what you're using, go back down to paragraph, and right here where it says indentation left and right, that's where you can adjust it. But for now, leave it alone. Don't even mess with it. Okay? All right. Back to our text. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to go in a little more detail. Here's my first paragraph. It's kind of wordy. It tells a whole lot, and I give up. This is where you state your argument of the paper, not complaint, not fight. This is an argument. I'm saying this. This is my opinion, and this is what I think is right. And what you're going to support it with are at least 3 facts. Generally, it's 3. Sometimes it's more, depending on the size of your paper. Those facts, those resources, are ideas you didn't come up with. These are somebody else's work that they absolutely 100% deserve and are legally entitled to given credit to. That's your resources. And this is where your footnotes come in. And from your footnotes, build your bibliography. But baby steps first. In my first paragraph, I've given my statement and I've given my examples. Now my examples are backed by facts and resources. And you can see this. This is a footnote. I have 1, 2, 3. Now when you put in footnotes, it will put them in numerically, one right after the other. It will keep it up for you automatically. So let's say you're writing a paper and you want, I need to use this as a resource. You'll click on it, it'll add another number, and you can put your information in. But where does this information go? For the footnotes, it's at the foot of each page. On this page, I have 3 resources that I've used and I'm giving them credit for. Okay, so the number 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. And these are written in correct Chicago style and Chicago formatting. So when you see this, this is how it should look. But let's go back up here for a minute. How did we get this on here? How do we get it to come up? We don't. You just don't. You just don't randomly walk in there and type in a 1 because then it looks weird, right? What you're going to do is you're going to go back up here to your working tabs. You're going to go over to references. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 references. Click on it. Again, whether this is your first footnote, your fifth, or you're going back in and adding some in between, it doesn't matter. You're going to go to insert a footnote here. It says AB with that red 1. Go ahead and click on it. And what I want you to do is watch right here. Watch this area right here, okay? At the end of the sentence where you're referencing something, click on that insert footnote. And what you'll see is it added 1. Okay? It added another resource footnote for me. When you scroll down, it gave me space to put the footnote in there. Okay? So, now, you've inserted your footnote, and it comes down here, and Windows, the newer versions, will automatically do the formatting for you. One of the things I want to talk about is before we get back up there, is you know how I said in the other video that it had to be 12-point font? Well, your text is 12-point font. And if we're looking here, your text is 12. But when you come down here, these are one of the changes. It changes this font to 10. It shrinks it down a little bit so we can put more of your text out there and a little smaller area for references. It's a functionality type of thing. You don't need to change the font in here. All right, so let's go back up here. And what I'm going to do here, since I've shown you how to set that up, I'm just going to delete that, and we're going to go back to normal. Now, if you see the way the footnotes are set up at the bottom of your page, how they have this indentation, and then that highlighted 1, and then whatever, and then it's the indentation, and it has all your information, and if you need a second or third line or whatever, it adds it, and it indents just like a paragraph, right? Well, that when you click on the footnote tab, it automatically does it for you. If you're not using the footnote tab, then again, right click or double click, go down to paragraph, and we're going to move over here. And you see, since I'm already in the footnotes, it already put the special as first line. Okay, what that simply means is instead of it starting here and going all the way across, it indents it like it's making it its own paragraph. And it'll do it for each one. And you go and click OK. And it'll automatically fill that out. Easy peasy, not difficult, right? So that's how you put this in. Now we are going to move on to creating a bibliography. A bibliography, absolutely 100%, if you're writing a paper over of a page or longer, has to be on its own page. And if you see here, I didn't include my whole paper because I didn't want to bore you that much, but my paper, my text, yada 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 yada, and right here right here I cut off the rest of my paper. But here's the bibliography. So it's listed as page 4, which it is on this document. Now, again, your title, centered in the middle. It's going to be a 12-point font. You're going to write out bibliography and you're going to highlight it. And again, before, if you forgot how to highlight, click here, go over here to bold, on, off, just like that. And then you're going to come back. Now, your bibliography page is not difficult. Okay, it's pretty easy. So you on a page all of its own, you're going to put them in alphabetical order, okay? And it's going to start off with their last name. So here I have Hurst, Hosteller, Craybill, even the book, New Testament version, Noel, Rocliffe, Yoder, yada, 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 yada. Okay, you're going to put it all in there. And then if you notice, your bibliography, the indentation is the complete opposite of your footnotes. Whereas in your footnotes, you had the first line indent. For the bibliography, it's going to be hanging, where your first line is hanging over the edge of your second line. And to find that, simply put, I'll make it a little bit bigger. You're going to double click or right click, depending on what you're using, paragraph. Again, all these will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You're going to go over here and you're going to click hanging. And then OK. Now, what I do want you to see here is this is single spaced. Make sure that's single spaced as well. But you can go as many as you need. But I'm going to tell you, you can have more than one footnote from a resource. But if you use a resource, it has to be in your bibliography. So let's say for the NIV Bible, if I used examples of more than one quote, I can have it 2, 3, 4 times in my footnote, but I have to have it at least once down here in the bibliography. Okay? Your footnote is basically telling you, hey, this is where I found it, this is the page number. When you go down to bibliography, it tells you how to find that resource, whether it's online or it's a book or whatever else. It's more detailed down here. Greater detail in the bibliography, a little bit less on the footnotes, because we want you to get the meat of your paper out that we can read it first, and we got the basic information that we need, and when we want more, we can go to the bibliography. Now, all this is simple. All this is easy. Now you know how to format a Chicago-style paper in Microsoft Word. From margins and fonts, creating a title page, inserting page numbers, formatting footnotes, building a bibliography. These tools make it look like a polished, professional paper. And once you learn these basics, then they will come to you as second nature, and then you can get to the real challenge of your paper, making your thoughts matter and supporting your opinions, your arguments with facts, and being able to find those facts. If there's any questions, please let me know, and I will gladly help you out. Thank you, and have a great day.